Welcome to our channel RayofHope, and this is going to be the second class for cross-site scripting. We will be covering the theory and practical part of reflected XSS. So stay tuned with us. When we talk about XSS, we already covered, but let me cover again actually. Reflected XSS arises when an application receives data from an untrusted source and includes that data within immediate response in an unsafe way. What does that mean? Suppose this is the website. This is the website, right? It has search functionality like this. And what I've done over here, I search one. But in search parameter, it is showing like www.fb.com and equal to 1. That means whatever we are, like a user input that we have put it over here, it is getting stored in the database, source code, right? That means we can perform, it is not so sure about it, but there's a chances that we can perform, like you can see over here. http www.nikebiz.com search q is got a script, right? This is the command actually, okay? Just ignore that command. For a moment, suppose there's no script. There's no script over here. One second. There's no script. There's no script over here. It is something just find equal to one parameter. So that means there's a possibility that you can inject reflected XSS or XSS, right? Understand the basic of that is what reflected XSS is, right? Whenever you try to put something untrusted JavaScript malicious code and it reflects you, right? Then you can perform reflected XSS over there. Cool? Play process. Understanding of reflected XSS. As I even told you, it is reflected XSS when we talk about. It is not something that, anyone, you can perform, like anyone can perform this. You can, without the interaction of user, you could not do that. It requires the user interaction. That means even if you inject, right, you find that on this search user input field, there's a possibility of reflected XSS. But until unless user do not click on this link, you would not be able to get any info. That means this reflected is useless. So it required user interaction. That means user needs to click on your link, right? And for that you can use social engineering method, right? Website response. The website receive a script, treats it as a user input and send it back to the user. Code execution. The user browser intercepts the script as valid HTML, executed it within the context of the website. That means once the user get the link and click the link, and then it getting executed. The basic. Just understand the basic. We will be performing live only. I am showing this because you need to understand the concept as well, right? It is not just I'm going to go ahead and hey, that this is XSS. No. Understand how exactly reflected XSS works, okay? Now, if I go ahead and reflected XSS exploitation. This is a simple way, which I have already talked about in previous. So, like I am an attacker, what I'm going to do? I'll create a very simple or any malicious link or a malicious JavaScript code, right? Then I found it that this search parameter has user input and where their XSS, reflected XSS is reside. So what I'll be doing over here, with the help of this, I can perform, I found this, and then I will be sharing that URL to the user, victim. And I'll make sure that user is clicking on the URL which I have sent. The script is executed in a victim browser, potentially stealing cookies, or we can also redirect them to the malicious website. And the victim browser executes malicious script without their knowledge, and they don't even know about it. Remember that. The website is vulnerable is to reflected access because it does not properly validated or encode user input, or sanitization input validation is not there. Therefore, input validation and sanitization is always important. Impact. What else we can get together from the reflected accesses? Data tip, indeed we can do so. Account hijacking. Like we can make a payload using our Bob Suit collaborator. A Bob Suit, we have one functionality in Bob Suit collaborator. Ignore this writing, okay? We have one functionality in Bob Suit, which is Bob Suit collaborator, okay? Using that, we can create or we can craft one payload where there we have found that we have reflected XSS injection over there. So using that, I will craft one payload and I will be sending to the victim. And if the victim click, the payload will get executed in their browser and I will get the cookies. And then I will decrypt that cookies to get the session ID. And using that session ID, I would be able to install it or like access the victim account even without their interaction or any user ID or password. What mitigation do we need over here? Input validation that will validate all the inputs by ensuring that they are of correct type, length and format. Output encoding, encoded user supplied data before it is displayed on the website. That will preventing it being interpreted with as HTML. CSP, which is really important. You have to use the CSP to control the resources that are allowed to be loaded on the website. That will restrict the execution of malicious script. These are the basic of reflected XSS. Okay, there we go. We understand about XSS. Now, it is time to do some practical stuff, right? Okay, so for that, I have already some sort of script in my written, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'll just copy this script. This is the very basic script, I execute it. Okay, there we go. It is showing, it is reflecting, right? That means we are able to successfully execute this, right? Over here, we have reflected XSS vulnerability. But what if I'm gonna go ahead first, why it is showing? Okay, go over here. Can you see over here? There's no filter over here, right? There's no filter. There's no user input validation or sanitization, right? Therefore, we can easily perform the XSS. What if I'm going to change it to the medium level? Okay, I'm going to paste the same script. No, it did not. It did not reflected. Does that mean we could not perform the reflected XSS over here? No. I mean, for the same website, if I go ahead and understand their source code for medium level, can you see they are using string replace, right? So this is what this is doing. This script, right? It is just replacing with nothing, right? So, but you can see that they have written it into small character. What if I'm going to use the same payload and change this to the capital S, one second, capital S. Capital S, okay. Capital S, right? And if I do submit, there you go, right? Just understand that what is happening. See, it is always about understanding the situation, looking at the source code, and then you can perform. There's no, security that you could not bypass if you really understand the code behind it. There's always a bypass. for any security. There's no system which is 100% secure actually. What if I'm gonna just make it high level, and if I'm going to execute like uh, same script, would I be able to execute it? Oh no, I'm not able to. Why so? Let's again go through the source code. Can you see over here they are using break replace? What does that mean? They are using this break replace. One second. Break replace, right? What is doing? It is replacing the script part, whether it is case sensitive or not. That means we could not use script on this website. But at the end, there is something called I. Does that script includes I at the end? No, it does not. What does that mean then? It's mean I we are using, it is making sure that it is using for case sensitive. Doesn't matter if it is capital or small. It will exclude it to nothing. You got it? That means we have to, we have to use a script. We have to use a script. We have to use a script. A script which has no script. We have to use a payload that does not include this word script in it, right? So what I'm gonna do over here, for that I would have one script which I'm gonna use it, right? Like if I'm gonna go ahead and use this script, basically over here, image is image, SRC stands for source, and if it is getting executed, then it is fine, right? And if it is not getting executed, the source, then it will throw an inner which is 1. So if I'm going to paste it over here and do this, there you go, it is throwing 1, right? How did we bypass? By looking at the source code, we understand what is the developer written code, and based on that, we have processed the same. But what if I'm gonna go ahead and do the impossible level of security? Now understand this. The same level of injection will work over here. Do you think it will work? No, it is not working. It is showing the same actually. Now, why it is showing the same? If you look at the source code, they are using like they are removing HTML special character. Means any HTML special character which is there, they will remove that. Let me show you something. Okay? Just ignore the word meaning, guys. Okay. So basically, these are the some basic HTML special characters, right? So, one second. Okay. So basically, when you go for HTML injection, we have option. That is, we can use the encoder to we can use the replacement of those codes, and then based on that we will try to inject it. We have instead of less than, we can use this. We have replacement for every code over there, right? So now if I just go ahead and search, one second, I have this, right? Stay tuned. You will have the understanding that what I'm gonna do, and now you will have always the really good understanding about XSS injection. Okay, one second. Okay, this is the code. URL encoder. URL encoder. Okay. So what I have done, I have encoded this. See, it is not so sure that we can perform and we would be able to perform the task over here, but we can give a try. This is still not working. So this is, but still, even if it is impossible, but that doesn't mean it is secure. There could be the possible ways that someone can come up with a solution and can bypass this. If we can have one script where we could not use any HTML special character, and we would be able to bypass this filter as well. This is all about the session. Thank you for watching. Do subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you.